Hey guys, so I thought I'd do a little video, talk a little bit about my T7. It's a 2021. Had it since about August of 2020. And I had an 1190 Adventure R and a 500 EXC. Sold both of those. Just kind of got busy with life, but I think my wife felt sorry for me, so she went and bought me this. So here we go. She's a keeper. But don't have as many models on it as I'd like to, probably right around 3,000, but done the Smoky Mountain 500, pretty much all of the Telco Adventure Trail, and just quite a bit of running around the mountains here in East Tennessee. But I thought I'd talk through a few of the upgrades. I was looking at an 890 Adventure R. Really, it was between this and the 890, but I think for the price, I think the Tenere is just a better value, and a lot of the upgrades you can customize and kind of do your own thing. But it's about $1,500 of the upgrades I have on this bike are probably things I would have done to the 890 if I had it. So, it's things like the lights and the cargo rack. I actually have this side pannier racks as well for the Mosko soft luggage for longer trips. You got the hand guards, all those things that you're going to put on an 890 anyways. I have it on this bike. But talk about a few things I've done. So we'll kind of start at the bottom. I've got SW Motech skid plate. I really like this skid plate, and it worked really well. One thing I like is it comes up and covers most of the header pipe, and a lot of the others stop short, so I really like this because of that. I've got the T7 Rally pegs. They're huge, maybe on the border of too big, but this bike, like a lot of adventure bikes, you can sit down and ride these on the road, but when you're off-road, you better stand most of the time. So you got to have a good platform and to keep your feet on. If you're not standing, the bike is really, the center of gravity gets really too high, and it's just difficult to control. It'll slide out from under you pretty easy. I've got Venture Spec crash bars with the Denali. I think it's the D2 lamps, and one thing that's cool about them is they come with different lenses. So I like the amber lenses, and one is a spot lens, one's a diffused lens, so you kind of get the best of both worlds there. I've got a radiator guard that's behind the standard radiator fins, and it just keeps any kind of rocks from going through and hitting the radiator at all. I've got heated grips. These are the OEM heated grips with the grip puppies. They work really well. The heat actually goes through the grip puppies just fine and keeps your hands warm. I've got the Garmin Zumo XT and a RAM quick grip for my phone. So, I use the GPS of the Zumo, but then I also use Gaia on my phone. It kind of keeps me double checking where I'm going. I've got the anti-bobble from Camel. I just didn't really like that display moving as much as it did. The Rally Raid mount on the 10mm accessory bar. All my accessories are wired straight down into the to the bike accessory plugs. So everything is soldered and waterproof connectors. So Everything's electrically, it's very solid. I also have the triple clamp Moto Scott's steering damper, which is turned out to be really nice. I've got the Kriega tie down loop that replaces the passenger foot pegs, which is pretty handy. It saves some weight. I've got Touratech rear rack. I also have the painter rack that I just don't have it on right now, but I chose the Touratech because of because I like their top boxes and I like their Pioneer boxes. I used to have GV, and GV's not bad. I just thought that the Touratech was a little more rugged, and it'd give a good option for a travel set of luggage that you can lock up, and I can add that later. Keep going. I've got a heavy duty spring from Camel Adv for the kickstand. I've got the Touratech water pump guard, as well as a Camel one finger clutch kit. That's pretty handy. And I also have the Camel high exhaust. I got rid of that low mount exhaust. It was really too low. I wanted to make sure that I could run this bike without the luggage and not worry about bending that pipe into the swing arm, and so I added that. I've got the Tusk rear fender eliminator kit, or tail tidy. As you can see, I'm missing a right turn signal. That's because the Camel Adv high exhaust pipe melted the one I had, so I got to get some more low profile. They're actually on their way. I'll put those on in a few days. I also have the Tusk high fender kit, and it works well with the Adventure Spec crash bars, but what I found is the high fender kit just is too messy. It gets it throws mud everywhere. The stock OEM fender really does a good job of keeping the dirt and stuff down and off the bike. And this Puge wind deflector, I had that on the 1190, and it's amazing. I highly recommend that product versus going out and buying a taller windscreen, because you can just take it off if you don't want it. It's pretty easy. And well, that's about it. Things I have left to do. I've got the Altex tubeless kit for the rear tire to install. I think I'm going to leave the front as a tube, but definitely the rear is going to tubeless, and I haven't really ruled out just going to Woody's and buying a set of gold rims that already have the tubeless kit on it, and that'll really set this bike off, I think. The other upgrade I'm looking at is the Rally Raid plus 30 millimeter suspension upgrade. If I do that, I'm probably gonna have to go with a lower seat, because at 5'9", it's about all I can stand height-wise now. I'm on my tiptoes, so if I go up an inch or so in height for the suspension, I'm gonna have to go down with the seat about 3/4 of an inch, and that'll set me up just right. So meant to mention this, I've got the BRP bar clamps that work with the Cycra Pro-Bin hand guards. They work amazing. This bike, I mean, it is amazing on the road. and it's even better on the trails. Like I said, it just tractors, and the power is just perfect. And it is a big bike. I mean, a lot of people think, well, you know, the T7 being a middleweight, it's not that heavy. It's still heavy. I bet you with all the stuff I've done to it, it's probably pushing 500 pounds, but it doesn't feel like it. And I think that's the point of a bike like this, whereas the 1190 was definitely, you could tell it was way over 500 pounds. It was definitely over 500 pounds with all the gear I had. And so, you know, I'll be looking at ways to shed some weight a little bit, but I really don't want to compromise the upgrades I do have, because they do serve a purpose. I forgot one more thing, is I have the SW Motech center stand that I added. That I wouldn't have one of these bikes without it, because being able to take that rear tire off if you do have a problem is pretty important when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So anyways, leave some comments if you have any questions. I'll try to list some things, some links to where some of the stuff I have and upgrades I got and why I did some of it in the comments. But just shoot me a message. Thanks, guys.